Imagine if somebody fractured your skull, broke your bones, bashed your face in, and then threatened to kill you. But you managed to kill them first. Self-defense, right? But what if your attacker was your own husband? Brenda Clubine spent 26 years in prison for killing her abusive husband. After years of black eyes and skull fractures and broken limbs, a jury decided she was guilty of murder and ripped her away from her young son. Finally, just 2 years ago, after a quarter of a century behind bars, Brenda was given her precious freedom back. It is an honor to welcome Brenda Clubine. You are my hero for never giving up and for devoting your life to helping Americans understand what domestic violence is really like as opposed to our stereotypes in our head. Take us back to that fateful moment when you, Brenda, decided to stand up for yourself.
Well, first of all, I want to say that it's an honor and a pleasure for me to be on this show because I think it's so important that we educate not only the victims, but our community. In one night, in a matter of seconds, I was forced, beyond my control, to defend my life. My husband asked for my wedding rings because he said without them, tomorrow they won't be able to identify your body. So from there, I knew that I wasn't going to get out of there that night. And I knew that I was never going to see my son's face, that I wouldn't have that chance. So my husband had been drinking from a wine bottle, and I picked it up, and I hit him over the head with a wine bottle. I didn't even intend to kill him. It was just, I just wanted to knock him out and leave. And the ultimate result, unfortunately, was him dying.
Now, couldn't you convince a jury? I mean, you've convinced me right now. I'm sure you had medical records of broken limbs and all the abuse, maybe photos. How come the jury didn't see that you are the victim here?
Well, unfortunately, back then, there was no allowing battered women syndrome to be admissible in court. And so because of that, they just kept saying that the victim wasn't on trial. So I had no chance. But because of years later, once in prison and starting my group, we got that law changed so that another person would never have to live the nightmare I lived, and my sisters as well.
Your little boy was 3 years old and he's such a precious child. I saw those photos when you were ripped away from him. He was almost 30 when you finally got out of prison. So what was that like? How did you reconnect?
Well, you know, it's getting to know each other. We're still in that process now. But he's an amazing young man, and I have 2 wonderful grandsons. And it's not about what was, it's about what's ahead of us and where we can build our life from here and how we can try to heal.
I want to get to this big issue because it's so important. So many people, when they hear about domestic violence, they go, why don't these women just leave? And there's some judgment behind that question. In reality, it is never that simple. So, Brenda, have people ever asked you, why didn't you just leave? What do you tell them?
Absolutely, they've asked me. And that is because people don't get it. They don't understand. They don't understand what it's like to live in fear 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They don't understand what the threats are and that when they say they're going to kill you, your children, your friends, your family members, the guilt and the shame that goes along with it. But in my case, I did leave. I left 11 times. I got a restraining order. I filed charges. But the problem was that my husband would hunt me down, and in 2 to 5 days, every time I left, he would find me.
Oh, my gosh.
So there was nowhere for me to go. And when I left, it would be when he'd be gone, because that would be my only safe time to leave. Then he wasn't pinning me down on the floor or pummeling me or whatever was happening at the time. And when he was gone, I felt that I'd have a safe bit of time that I could get out, pack some things, and go.
With your kid?
But the unfortunate...
With your child?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. But unfortunately, I don't care where I went, and the fact that I didn't tell anybody where I went, he would find me. I had 6 jobs in 3 months. He got me fired from each and every one of them. So that just proved everything that he said about me never being able to survive without him, that I'd never make it on my own, became very real for me because I couldn't make it. So I kept going back.
Why do you think he was abusing you? What was wrong with him? What was his psychosis?
Honestly, I don't know why he was abusing me. I believe that he had his own issues. I don't think that there's any excuse for anyone ever to put their hands on anyone. I know there is no excuse. I think that he used to say that I was upsetting him. I was making him angry if I just did things right. And I believe those things.
We are out of time. We want you to come back. We love you. We're so glad you're out.